What's going on, beautiful people? Today we are doing my first proper themed shrimp tank in the new studio. Now, I've done quite a few themed shrimp tanks before. There's been like the shrimp bubbles, shrimp cave, shrimp mountains, there's been loads of them. I quite like doing the little themes with them because they're quite simple, and a shrimp tank works better when it's quite simple. You actually see the shrimp. So I have actually got one shrimp tank already. It's this one you can see down here. Now it's not like a themed one though. I just set it up quickly because I wanted to make sure I had somewhere to put all the shrimp. There's quite a lot in there. I want to separate them out, put them in different racking, that kind of thing. But I want to choose my best ones to go in the shrimp theme tank. And for this design, I'm going to use these concrete cement kind of owl things. They're so cool. Let me get them out. Okay, so I got these from IKEA on a recent trip. I was looking for some furniture, some plants, that kind of thing. And I saw these and I just straight away, I had to buy them. Oh, let me get this protective stuff off. Little medium size. And then the little baby one. How cute are they? They're gonna look wicked in there. Like, nothing too complicated. Quite sort of contemporary and stylish, I guess. What have owls got to do with shrimp? Absolutely nothing, but that's not going to stop us, is it? And I was thinking something a bit like this, look. So like not symmetrical or anything, like kind of off. Do you know what I mean? And then the little baby one can be over there, like that. So it's not all perfect. Actually, from this angle, it looks perfect. So when you're there, look, it's just off center. Maybe I can accentuate that a little bit more. Maybe like that. I mean, it kind of looks like the little one's in trouble and it's not allowed near the other. It's fine, it's fine. So that looks really cool and everything, but on its own, it's a bit plain. I think what would look really good is those owls just sat on like a full carpet of hair grass, like slightly sloped, and then they're just sort of angled against it. I think that'll create a really nice backdrop. Then it's not gonna take away anything as well from the shrimp, I don't think. We have got some great news, guys. So today's video is once again sponsored by AQUARIAN and API. Now, both these brands have been working with us for like nearly 3 years now, so you know how happy I am with their products. They just keep coming back time and time again, and you guys are obviously enjoying them as well because you're using them, and I'm getting so many good comments about experiences that you're having as well. So one of my absolute favorite products of all the API, well, actually a few of my favorite products, Quick Start, is absolutely brilliant. I use this like every single build. You put it in and your fish are pretty much good to go straight away. All you got to do is follow the instructions that are on the back, tells you how much to put in, and you're all good. I'd still do checks. I'd still do daily checks to start with, just to be sure. And that's where the freshwater master test kit comes in. Absolutely essential, I think, for any fish keeper. And my other favorite product is the leaf zone. I'm a planted tank guy, as many of you know, and this has just worked so well for me over the years. And you know, it's all right just talking about that and saying it, but I think, to be honest, the proof is in the pudding. Or the fish tank. So this is my Better Fish sorority aquarium, and it's got like 60 better fish in here, a ton of the neons and cardinals you can see. We've got loads of Amano shrimp as well. It's all thriving and doing insanely well. Now, this is actually the first tank I've had proper CO2 injection in. You can see down there, we've got like a little bubble counter and everything, all professional. And lots of people have been asking me, now that you're doing the whole high-tech thing in this tank, what fertilizing regime have you got? Leaf zone. Leaf zone is my fertilization routine. Once a week, I do this. Shaky, shaky, shaky. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is it. And I also get asked a lot as well, how do I feed this amount of fish and make sure they're all getting everything they need? Well, I use the Aquarian flake food for like everything you can see sort of swimming in the water column. Now, I don't have any cories in this tank, but I do have quite a lot of Otocinclus, and I've got bristlenose plecos as well, and quite a lot of Amano shrimp. So for that, I use the algae wafers. So it's all very simple, and as you can see, all the better fish are already waiting for me, and they already know my tap as well. So I just take some flake between my fingertips and just crumble it all up on the surface like that. And then they'll go and peck at it as they want, and as they do that, they'll pour more down into the water column. And what I do to make sure everyone's got everything, I just sit and wait till it's all gone. And usually they'll back off a little bit when they've had enough. Now, some of the better fish are a little bit derpy and they wait around the bottom like that. So I also crumble up some of the flake under the water as well, so it just sort of sinks right back down into that area, as well as on the surface. So then all the fish can choose what they want to do. And then we need our algae wafers as well. I like to just break them in half, plonk them in the front because it's the most open sort of area, and all the bristlenose will come and find them. The betters are chasing it. What is it? So yeah, two absolutely brilliant products there by two awesome companies. Like I say, they are staples in the fish room. They have been for years now, and I fully back them and support them, as do you guys. Anyway, back to the build. So yeah, let's take these out. Oh, I swapped them around. I think that looks better because that's, I don't know why. I felt they just looked better that way. Anyway, I'm gonna need to take them out, and then I'm gonna need to put some nutrients down. I'm gonna put some Nutri-Base down from Colombo, purely because it's got this like beneficial bacteria in it, and I find that if I put that layer down first, the tank just kicks off brilliantly to start with. Yeah, I think many of you have seen this stuff down here. Look, I'll keep it down here. It's really, really heavy, so it's like a tiny little package. Yeah, this is the stuff. Really, really think it's great. I'm quite new to using it. I've used it in 2 scapes now that have just got off to a flying start, so I'm gonna try it again. Well, this is nice. Look, I'm about to start filming, and everyone's here. Look, Kate's cleaning, and all the kids are here because they're off school today, aren't you, Gracie? It's half term. Gracie, are you happy? Show everyone what socks you picked. You picked those, didn't you? Your sparkly shoes. She said, I've got to wear something beautiful today. Jakey, show them what you got. Yes, Timmy merch, available in the link below. Jakey's like missing half his teeth. Doodles, and you just lost a tooth as well, didn't you? Yeah. 2 teeth. There's just teeth falling out everywhere. What do you guys think of the new studio?
Actually really exciting.
Exciting, is it? Doodles like it? Cool. So you don't need a lot of this Nutri-Base. You can just spread it about like that. Think of it as like a power sand that you don't have to take a mortgage out for. That'll literally be enough. Just spread it about a bit so it's a bit more even. Now, as always, this isn't essential, but I find that adding it is just way better. You know, an extra product that helps with the beneficial bacteria and startup is always going to be a bonus. It just speeds everything up, but not absolutely essential. If you want success, then it's brilliant. So that is point 1. That's fine. We could just keep it at that. We could put some gravel over the top, but I'm going to put on top of that is aquatic compost. I found it to work really well. So this tank here, which has got my ruby tetras in, tiny little things. Oh, calm down. So that's just a full hair grass carpet. There is no filter in this tank. All it is just the water. We've got aqua soil, and then underneath you can see the aquatic sort of compost there. That's the sort of stuff that you put in pond baskets and have like lilies and things like that growing in, and it doesn't foul the water, but there's enough nutrients in it that the roots just seem to be so drawn to it, look. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that on top of the Nutri-Base. And outside here is where I keep all my sort of composts and old gravels and things like that. Where's the compost? There it is. Premium aquatic soil. That's the stuff we need. It's basically had the organics floated off, and then what's left is just like nutrients that are, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, a nice little layer of the aquatic compost. Just pour that in. You don't need a huge amount of it, just like an inch or so will be fine. Don't worry about all the gravels and things in it. It's actually quite good for stopping it from all compacting. Some more for that back area as well. Right, and then I want to just flatten that all out so it's nice and even. Yeah, I will get mucky fingers. My little girl's talking to me whilst I'm doing this. I'm showing her it. I'm teaching her for future reference. Now we want to spray down this layer, get it nice and sort of moist, and that'll remove any sort of trapped air that's in there. That'll come to the surface, and then we put the next layer on. It's going to be all good. And for spraying stuff down, and for spraying stuff down over here, look, I've got this. This is my, I don't know what it's called actually. Like if you're in a garden, I think they put like de-weeding stuff in it, and it's really, really good. It's got that long piece on it, so you can just sort of go wherever you want. It's just an absolutely essential thing I find for like creating tanks. It's cheap as well. It costs next to nothing. Right, then you just want to spray it all down so that it's all completely wet. You can also clean off the glass as well if you've just got any soil on there like I have. That's it, get it all just soaking wet. So there's like a little bit of water as well. You can see pooling in the bottom. So because of the gravel mixed in with the soil, it just allows the air to sort of come up. It just won't get all compacted and gross and Yeah. So I have actually got a load of black Aquasoil, brand new stuff like that, but down underneath this whole racking system here, I've also got some sort of sand mixed with some brown Aquasoil, which would more than do the job. It's actually got a bit of everything in there, isn't it? So I'm just going to use that. I like to recycle stuff where I can, and I know that this stuff has still got plenty of nutrients in, plus we've got the NutriBase and the aquatic pond soil, so we're all good. Right, so we can just load all this up. I'm going to go for like a higher banking in the background area. I think that'll work really well, having it a bit sloped. There's something in there, what's that? Oh, it's just a bit of slate. Right, now I can just use my hands to sort of just give it the shape that I want. Gonna need a bit more at the foreground actually, for sure. Might be quite cool to have it mounded like a hill actually. That might look quite good, mightn't it? So then, just like before, we want to spray all this down as well. It'll just sit better, and otherwise, if you don't spray it down now and you fill it up with water, you find that it kind of sinks in as the water comes up, and then everything will move, and we don't want that. So you can see there, as you're spraying it, it's kind of sinking in. Now, all that movement over the whole thing will mean it will get sink. Oh, I'm smashing the glass up. All that movement will mean we'll get that sinking, especially with the weight of the cement owls. So this will just stop all of that. The sand's going to help as well a bit though, because sand doesn't compact. Well, it will to a certain point, then it won't like continue to squeeze, whereas the soil will. So that is the whole base ready. We can now put our owls in, and then we can put the grass all around them. I love that. I think it looks so good, but it will look even better with a full-on grass carpet all around it all. So one thing that I do want to add into this tank that I usually add before I put the substrate in on the bottom layer, but because of the thickness that we've got in the sand and Aquasoil at the back, I want to put it in now and then push it down. So I'm going to be putting in some root tabs. So I've got these ones over here from API. Here they are, API root tabs. So these contain iron and potassium, and basically they just give the roots a turbo boost. So for a tank this size, I'm not going to need that many, and I'm going to put them in half. I'm going to dot them about. So for a tank this size, I've got 5 tablets total, so that gives me 10 halves. Just going to sort of evenly space them out. And then all I've got to do is push them in, and we can go to the desired depth that we want as well. Then we don't have to like have them right on the bottom, which is going to make a difference up in this sloped area at the back. Then we can just push in around them as well, just to make sure that they're all locked in. Be no floating up, and we're all good. Oh, sorry, little fella. So that's the nutrients taken care of. Next up, we can start planting, and I'm going to go for that hair grass, and I've got Glossostigma as well, a little bit of Monte Carlo, a sort of mix of everything all over the whole bank. I think that'll look best. So down in this bucket here, you can see, look, it's a proper sort of carpet of dwarf hair grass and the Glossostigma. Now the thing is, if I just put that in like that, it'll float to the surface because it's not locked down. See, all the roots are in the Aquasoil, but I need them to do that again. So basically, I need to separate all this out into small little clumps, which will take time, but it's worth it. So that is all the plants prepped. Quite a bit of time that took, but it was all worth it. Now we can plant them all in individually, and you just get a much better look, and they'll lock in better as well. So that's all now filling up, and because we're not putting a filter in this tank, I need to put in the water conditioner now, make sure that tap water's safe. So I will be using the quick start at some point, but also I need the Aqua Essential. Perfect. So this is basically going to take out all the chlorine, chloramines, heavy metals, everything that we need to come out of the tap water. I need to put it in now because there's no filter, and then the water flow will just distribute it evenly. And you only need a tiny little bit of this stuff as well for this size tank, which is perfect because it means it lasts for so long. Really good value for money. And to be honest, because we're adding the livestock today, I'm going to add the quick start as well. Beneficial bacteria. I'm going to go for a whole capful. Perfect. Oh yeah, overall I think that's turned out pretty sweet. I mean, and we still need to address a few things, like I think the scraggly bits at the front could be trimmed shorter and then just keep the wispy bits at the back I just think that'll look a little bit better. Got a bit of grime on the glass, we've got some bubbles, a little bit of grime as well, like residue on the owls, but it looks quite authentic, giving them sort of an aged look. They are staring at me though. Come back tomorrow, all the bubbles will be gone, should be looking good. Right, so it's now the next day. The tank is looking pretty good overall. There's just a few little tweaks I want to do. All the bubbles, or most of the bubbles, have gone already. I'm just thinking this hair grass at the front needs a little bit of a trim. You see what I mean? I love the hairiness in the background, but this foreground area, I just want to tidy it up a little bit. It's easy to do, just trim it down at the base and all of it just floats to the surface, which makes it way easier to clean up as well. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a lot neater, a lot better look. And as I say, all the hair grass is now on the surface and we can just scoop all that off. I want to do a quick little water change as well. But before that, I want to just test the water and make sure the pH is staying at well, my tap water is 7. So there's aqua soil in here. I'd like to see it just below 7. If it's going up too high, obviously the cement would be causing that, but I don't think it will at all. I think it'd be absolutely perfect. Okay, so the test shows that my pH is creeping up higher than my tap water, which is to be expected with the cement in there. Need to keep an eye on it, but to be honest, at the moment it's sitting at a really good level because the Neocaridina, they do actually like sort of harder water. My tap water plus the aqua soil will actually bring it down to like 6.5, 6.7. So this is actually a good thing in this case, but it depends on your tap water at home, of course. Always test your water before you start putting livestock in there, as always. And obviously to do that testing, I am using the API Freshwater Master Test Kit. Now it's got everything you need in here: nitrate, nitrite, ammonia, pH low and high. So you cover for all the stuff you need, all the nasties. Brilliant. It will last forever as well. I think I've used 2 kits of these in like 3 or 4 years. So good. I'm still going to do a water change though because it's all messy and horrible now. Right, it has now been a little bit more time and I've got some good news and some bad news. Good news is the tank looks awesome, I'm loving it. The bad news is the pH is creeping up still, just a little bit more. It's getting near the sort of 8 range, which to be honest, Neocaridinas can tolerate. It's just, is it going to stop there? Is it going to creep more? So I think the best thing we can do is take the owls out, which is perfect because they'll just slide out. And then I can cover them in an epoxy resin that completely seals them. And then effectively it's just putting something inert back in the water. I've ordered some epoxy resin that is on its way, and it's VOC safe. It's got like no like contaminants and smellies and stuff like that. Yeah, we're all good. It might not even be needed, but I think it's best just to take that precaution. It's livestock at the end of the day. Plus I love my shrimp. I want them to breed and do well. I'm not just gonna chuck them in if it's not gonna be right. Right, so I forgot my camera completely, so I'm filming this on my phone, but this is what we've got. The resin has arrived, the epoxy resin, so it's this stuff here. You've got hardener, and then you've got the resin itself, and then some gloves and some sticks. We can mix it up in these little pots. Oh, well, no, that's for measurement. So you measure like 1 to 1, and then I'll pour it into here, and then I'll mix it up. And then I'm just gonna pour it all over the top of each one and just let it drip down. And I put it on these little plant weights at the bottom to make sure that everywhere gets covered, and then I can just brush the bottom bit afterwards. So yeah, hopefully it works. Okay, so that's the first owl done, the baby owl. Those 2 caps there was just about enough. I had to keep scooping it off and re-dripping it over. Started doing that one and then realised, look, let's just go for it. And I've made a massive pot of it now. There's still some left in case I need some extra to maybe do the base after. But yeah, I'm just gonna pour this on now. It should be okay. It's actually working, which is what I'm really happy with. Everywhere looks to be sealed all the way around the owl, but it's quite a dark colour, but then it's basically made the cement wet, so that's okay, it still looks good. So it is now a new day, and as you can see, the owls are sealed. They are a lot darker than they were originally, but I think it'll still look cool. It'll still give a cool effect. It's kind of monolithic, to be honest, but I can now put them into the water, and then we can get our shrimp in as well. I think that's absolutely great. Look at that. It looks so cool, doesn't it? And actually, underneath the light, they don't look as dark as I was expecting, so brilliant. Now, I'm just gonna leave it for a little bit, and then I can test the pH. If it's good, the shrimp can go in. So it has now been a good amount of time, and the pH is sitting bang on what it comes out of my tap at. So we're all good, we're safe, the shrimp can go in. So I've rounded up about a group of about 12, I'd say, roughly. We've got rillies in there, we've got yellows, there's some blues and reds, and yeah, it's just a little mix. Now, some people think that that means that they'll just all turn brown. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Either way, I don't mind. I like all of the shrimp, so yeah, put them in. So the whole room is heated, and these shrimp come from a tank that's the same temperature as this one here, so they can go straight in like that, which is all good. Oh, that looks wicked, doesn't it? Yeah, look at them straight away, getting to work, looking so healthy and fresh in there as well. And because it's been quite a few days since I planted, the plants are actually growing really nicely too. So you can see they're all pointing upwards. The glossostigma is doing really well, all new shoots on the top there. And that's a really good sign, because if you can get plants to grow quickly straight away, it means you've got a good setup going on. Also, no algae so far as well. And it's been a week since I planted, so that's a really good sign.